Lovely, thank you very much. All right. Okay, so if you have been outdoors in this country, you will have seen one of these. It is a low bridge. How low? Yeah? Yeah? Everything fine? Yeah, okay, you were just, good. How low? This one is 4.1 meters, 13 foot 3, okay? Or how about this bridge? 4.1 meters, 13 foot 6. Or how about this one in Birmingham? 4.1 meters, 13 foot 9. So something's going on here. I don't know how you normally convert between meters and feet and inches, but traditionally this is a one-to-one mapping. So, you know, which one do you reckon is right? I mean, the answer is actually none of them. It's 13 foot 5. But clearly there's some rounding going on here, right? These signs are rounded. And it's this rounding that I thought would be interesting to look at. So if you want to know how they're rounded, you can go to the Department for Transport. Say again?
The one on the right's a triangle, the other two are rounded.
Okay, so actually there's a very interesting anecdote I don't have time for about circles and triangles, but ask me in the Q&A. And the information is actually all in this, the traffic signs manual. And you can go here and it tells you exactly how to measure the height of a bridge. So you go to your bridge and you measure it first in meters, and it's 422. You subtract off 8 centimeters for safety, and then you then round down to a multiple of 10 centimeters, okay? You then go back to the bridge, you measure it again. It explicitly says you measure it twice. This time you measure it in feet and inches. You subtract off 3 inches for safety, and you round to a multiple of 3. And you put these two things on your sign. Okay, now some of you will have noticed that these are not the same, right? Rounded to multiple of 10 is not the same as round to a multiple of 3, and 8 centimeters isn't quite minus 3 inches. So what you can do is you can plot a graph of the actual height of your bridge on the x-axis and the signed height on the y-axis, right? So in the example that I showed you, this was here, so it's about 4.22. You can see exactly where on the graph that is. The blue line represents meters, 4.1, and the orange line represents feet, so that's 13 foot 6. But if you change the bridge height slightly, if you make it slightly shorter, right, the meters is the same, you can see that on the graph, but the feet and inches has dropped down 3 inches, right? Similarly, if you make the bridge a little taller, the meters is still the same, but the feet and inches now jumped up. Okay, so actually these signs are all fine, it's just a product of the rounding. But each of these little rectangles is a unique sign, right? In fact, if we go from 4 meters to 5 meters, there are 21 unique signs. And that's from 4 to 5, right? If we start at 5 and we go all the way down to 2 meters, there are 65 possible signs. All right, so I consider this a proof of uniqueness, but now we have to establish existence. And there's one set of people who really, really care about low bridges, and that group is truckers. So you can go to Smith's and buy a trucker's atlas. This is 300 pages of road maps, and you can go through with a highlighter and find all of the low bridges in the country, but they're only in feet and inches, so you then have to go to Google Street View to make sure that they also have it in meters, and you end up with a map of the country with 65 signs on it. But is this really a proof of existence? You know, just looking it up on Street View, just looking at it in a map, or do you actually have to visit these signs? Okay, so here we go. 'What was this? Right. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and I'm missing one. There is one that I am convinced does not exist anywhere in the country, right? Out of the 65, there's one that I do not believe is on any bridge. It's this one here. You can see it's like super niche, like a really small range for which it's actually valid. And it's 2.2 meters, 7 foot 0. So if you see this sign, I want you to let me know. But there is some good news, because having traveled all around the countries you've seen to photograph all of these possible signs, I recently discovered that you can just buy them off the internet. So 20 quid, absolute bargain. So if you own a bridge that is between 2280 and 2285 millimeters, let me know. Thank you very much.